The last decade or two of gaming has seen its share of tough boss fights for sure. However, the 1990s presented some of the toughest challenges in gaming yet, and are still infamous to this day. Let's take a look at 13 of the toughest bosses during that era. AKUMA, Super Street Fighter II Turbo. Did you think that M. Bison from Street Fighter II, one of the toughest bosses in any game ever up till that point, was a wuss? Super Street Fighter II Turbo's AKUMA is the fight for you. Accessible only by reaching the last stage quickly without any continues in arcade mode, AKUMA will appear and waylay Bison. Then replace him as the final boss. In terms of abilities, he possesses the Zanku Hadoken, which fires 2 Hadokens in midair. A teleport for quickly closing the distance, and very quick combos that take off chunks of health. Hilariously enough, his playable version isn't as powerful, but was still considered broken enough to warrant banning from tournaments. Emerald Weapon, Final Fantasy VII. It's not enough that Emerald Weapon has 1 million HP and is immune to certain magic while absorbing others, or the fact that one of his attacks, Air Tam Storm, will damage each party member by 1111 multiplied by the amount of materia equipped, so having 9 or more is a wipe, or even because of moves like Emerald Beam that deals exactly 63% of one's current HP as damage, while canceling regen, or Revenge Stamp that functions as a counterattack. No, it's the fact that you have to beat it within 20 minutes unless the underwater materia is equipped. Shao Kahn, Mortal Kombat 3. Shao Kahn has always been a difficult boss to deal with, but he arguably peaked in Mortal Kombat 3. On top of fireballs and a powerful shoulder charge, the Outworld Emperor also has a sledgehammer that can deal tons of damage with a single strike. Not even blocking will save you. In fact, blocking some attacks may actually stagger the player back and open them up to more damage. If all of that wasn't enough, he's fairly quick and can also shoulder charge into the air. Magma Dragoon as Zero, Mega Man X4. Former Maverick Hunter turned Reploid, Magma Dragoon utilizes Street Fighter moves like the Hadouken, Dive Kick, and Shoryuken to deal extensive damage. That's not even accounting for his ability to create flame pillars or unleash fireballs that rain down in the arena. If you're going in as X with the double cyclone, then the fight is fairly easy. Playing as Zero is a whole different story though. It's often advised to bring in ride armor and whittle his health down as much as possible to succeed. Omega Weapon, Final Fantasy VIII. Level 100 with over 1.16 million HP, capable of casting Meteor, Light Pillar, and Ultima, not to mention level 5 Death, and absorbing every single elemental damage type, Omega Weapon is truly the toughest boss in the game. While its attack pattern doesn't change, so you'll know what's coming next, it's absolutely vital to abuse invincibility and limit breaks to defeat it. Otherwise, you're in for a bad time. The Death Egg Robot in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The Death Egg Robot, the final boss of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, can be a fairly perilous encounter. On top of having minimal room to dodge its attacks, you need to hit its vulnerable shell casing about 12 times to defeat it. That too without touching its legs, arms, and jetpack since those can hurt you. Also, there's no rings in the original release, so taking one too many hits is a recipe for failure. Mewtwo, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. If you saved the Master Ball for this very encounter, then Mewtwo is a walk in the park. For those who didn't, or couldn't, it would unleash all manner of psychic hell on your team. Even if you deal damage, Mewtwo can use Recover to regain its health and then raise its defense with Barrier. Defeating it is possible with high-level Pokemon, but if you're aiming to capture it without a Master Ball, it can be a pain. Sniper Wolf, First Battle, Metal Gear Solid. As the first real sniping duel in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, Sniper Wolf was a terrifying opponent. In the first 2 encounters, the player needs a sniper rifle to stand a chance at fighting back. You'll also need diazepam to steady your aim and must accurately track her. firing off any rounds before she can, which is easier said than done on the PS1 controller. Even then, she can take you by surprise and quickly reposition before you have time to react. For as difficult as this fight can be, using the Nikita launcher in the second encounter makes her one of the easiest bosses in the game. The Nemesis in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. While Resident Evil 2's TOO, better known as Mr. X, would harass players through specific sections, Resident Evil 3's Nemesis was a more heavily armed pursuer. Along with using various weapons, including a rocket launcher, it could also beat the player down with little effort. There were a number of encounters where you could flee or stand your ground and fight. In some cases, fighting was mandatory, but regardless of what you did, the Nemesis would return, relentless in its pursuit. It would eventually take an experimental railgun to put it down for good. Gruntilda, Banjo-Kazooie. Gruntilda is the toughest foe in the game for her fight, consisting of multiple phases. It starts out simple enough as she flies around on her broom and attempts to ram into our heroes. From that point on though, she'll unleash homing spells, fly high up into the sky, which requires a jump pad to reach, and even create a barrier that must be broken with the Jinjo's help. And that's before you need to use the mighty Jinjonator to finally defeat her. Starwolf in Star Fox 64. Initial encounters with Starwolf are problematic, but not impossible. Upon venturing to Venom in the second route though, the entire squad boasts upgraded ships which can deal more damage and are far more maneuverable. The AI is particularly ruthless in this respect, hunting down your squad mates when they're not trying to gun you down. Vortex Queen, ECCO the Dolphin. The final boss of ECCO the Dolphin is an uncharacteristically terrifying entity in the Vortex Queen. To even deal damage, you need to remove various parts of her face, which means dealing with jellyfish that deal heaps of damage. On top of firing projectiles and creating vortex drones, she also has a special attack that will instantly kill ECCO if he's not careful. Cortex, Crash Bandicoot. Beating Cortex in the final battle of Crash Bandicoot sounds easy. All you have to do is hit him 5 times. Simple, right? Unfortunately, this has to be done by deflecting his own energy bolts back at him over several rounds. Each round sees him firing several different kinds of bolts, with their speed and patterns changing as the fight progresses. Though more about pattern recognition than anything else, it still takes some time to get things down perfectly and send him packing. And with that, we reached the end of the video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Bolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.